The following is a presentation of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Ladies and gentlemen, Sleeman Breweries proudly presents the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. And welcome to the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. This is episode number 11, and I am your host, Andrew Rogers. It's great to be back with you guys once again to do this, and really appreciate you tuning in, as always, of course. We are getting down to the Christmas season, and we're right in the thick of it, I guess, if you will. Christmas Day right around the corner, and boy, what a time in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League as we reach the midway point of the season. A lot of teams already there, some just on the other side, and some still clawing their way to the halfway point. But things are really ratcheting up in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Lots of great action all across the board, as we saw this past weekend in our matchups. We're going to get to that in a minute. We have lots of coverage over the weekend of all of our games, and there's some good coverage there. So great to see, obviously, guys. From a hockey perspective, and we're just really excited to bring that all to you. Of course, the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast is brought to you by Sleeman Breweries. We appreciate their support and encouragement with this podcast. So without them, it's not possible. So we thank you, Sleeman Breweries. Also want to thank, so get you guys amped up here for the podcast. We got a couple of great guests lined up on the other side. First of all, coming up is Jacob Miller of the Erin Blitz, as you can see by our Erin Blitz t-shirts in the background there. Very nice, accompanied by a couple of hanging Christmas trees. Very cool. Very festive. And also coming up on the podcast today, we speak with Matt Fuller, defenseman of the Stratford Fighting Irish. It's a great jam-packed episode of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, episode number 11. I'm your host, Andrew Rogers, and I guess without further ado, guys, let's get you caught up on the action that was this past weekend in the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. Our first game of the weekend featuring the Delhi Flames visiting the Strathroy Jets from the Gemini Sportsplex in Strathroy. Pick things up here in the second period, Strathroy leading 3-1. And it's still on the fresh ice when Dane Johnstone is going to bury this beautiful Justin McIntyre pass. That's his fourth of the season. It's 4-1 Jets. 6 minutes into the second period now. Jets continue to strengthen their lead. Brett Lashbrook is going to hammer this one-timer in behind Trevor Fleming of the Flames. It's now 5-1 Jets on Lashbrook's sixth of the season. 3 minutes later, Jets are on the board again. This time it's Dane Johnstone returning the favor, firing it across to Justin McIntyre. That's his second goal of the season. That increases the Jets' lead 6-1 heading into the third period. Third period winding down now. 7 minutes to play. Flames trying to mount a rally here. This shot from Brendan Briggs is going to evade Jets starter Derek Malcolm, and it's 6-2 at this point. However, it would be as close as the Flames would get. Jets victorious in this one, improving their record to 6-6, while the Flames with the loss fall to 2-9-1. 6-2 Strathroy is your final. Next up, we visit the friendly confines of the Elora and District Community Center for the second half of the home-and-home between the Stratford Fighting Irish and the Elora Rocks. First period, and we have the Irish on the board first in this one. It's going to be Cameron Stokes feeding it across to Graham Brulot. He makes no mistake for his 12th of the year. Past Rocks netminder Anthony Marshall. It's 1-0 Irish. 30 seconds later, Irish on the board again. This time it's Brendan Spezial. He goes 5-hole to give the Irish a 2-0 lead. 8 minutes into the first, and the Rocks respond. After an incredible rush here from Brett McInale, Chad Heron is going to stuff it home. That cuts the Irish lead to 1. It's 2-1. Nearing 6 to play now in the frame. Rock's on the power play. Point shot here from Danny Heath. It's going to be redirected by Alex Utley in front and past Irish netminder Darren Smith. That ties things up at 2. Less than 3 to play. Still in the first. Alora grabs her first lead of the hockey game. Zach Cameron's going to take this stretch pass. He snipes this one glove side on Smith. Rocks lead 3-2 heading into the intermission. Skip to the halfway point of the second. Irish with the 2-man advantage. Eventually it's Graham Brulot, whose point shot here evades Marshall. That's his second of the game, and we're tied at 3. 2 minutes later, the Irish grab the lead back. Stephen DeGroot banging in the Matt Granger rebound here. It's 4-3 Irish heading to the third. Third period now, less than 9 minutes to play. Alora's going to tie things up. Zach Cameron's going to deke around a sprawling Smith. He centers to Utley, who's second of the game, ties things up at 4. But with less than 6 to play, the Irish looking to take back the lead. Matt Fuller leading the rush here. He crosses the blue line and puts it in on net, and we have an Irish-friendly bounce. That beats a helpless Anthony Marshall. Goal is credited to DeGroot. That's his second of the game. It's 5-4 Irish. Less than 3 to play. Irish on the power play now. It's going to be DeGroot once again, finishing off the natural hat trick to cap a big night for him. Broken stick and all, as that proves to be the final nail in the coffin. Irish wins 6-4. With the win, the Irish improve to 7-2, while the Rock fall to 8-3-1. And with that, we are ready for hockey here at the William Allman Memorial Arena here in Stratford, Ontario. Beautiful Stratford, Ontario, albeit. Starting in goal, as mentioned earlier, Zach Weir, number 60 of Stratford. And starting in goal for the Stratford Jets is number 1, Josh Diamond. Stripped away. And it's going to be Graham Brulot with the puck. He's going to skate it ahead. Shot on Diamond. Scores! Graham Brulot. With 19:05 to... Actually, it would have been 2 meters, Brian. Yeah. I don't know what 2 meters is. Is that 4 feet? 2 meters is 6 feet? How would you know? Yeah. Oh, shot scores! Point shot is put home in front by DeGroot. He continues with a hot hand. He's got another. It's 2-0 Stratford. Great. Still in the Stratford's Strathroy zone. Wraparound. Scores! Brad Crisco, he finishes the Matt Fuller effort. Great centering pass from Fuller.
Round behind the net to Stokes. Oh, a nice play out in front. Oh, what a beautiful look from O'Brien, who finds Cooper Leach on the left side. And it is 4-0. That was a pretty goal there. That's why they like O'Brien back on the point.
Puck will be played ahead, and it's in across the Strathroy line. Nice cross-ice pass, and Mitch Casey scores. Wow, what a pass that was. Woohoo! They must be trying to get some fantasy numbers. That's it. That's the only thing. That's the only reason I can see why that would happen. Maybe somebody's got him in their fantasy team.
Well, that's certainly Mitchell Casey's game is an offensive game. Granger, we don't usually see that from him, though.
Oh, there's a shot. They score. Great tic-tac-toe. Cooper Leach with the finish. That makes it 6-0 Stratford. Nothing much Josh Diamond could do on that one. Colin Martin. Back to O'Brien. Back to Martin. They play give and go here. Nice centering pass, and they score. Brad Crisco. What a pass from Colin Martin. Centering pass. No one home. Stokes couldn't get the shot away, and now it's going to be Robbins back to the line. Casey across. Granger. Down low. Into the middle. Robbins across. Scores! Cameron Stokes on a beautiful feed from Ray Robbins.
The Ontario Super Hockey League has been in existence. They have been a prime. Oh, my.
Oh, McCutcheon. What a shot.
As I mentioned earlier, he doesn't quite skate like his old man, but he sure got his old man's hands.
Well, that's the buzzer. Heck of a hockey game here, though, for the Stratford Fighting Irish this afternoon, and a shutout for Zach Weir in a 9-0 effort against the Jets. Next up, we go to the BAICC complex for the top-seeded Tilbury Bluebirds and the host Alvinston Killer Bees. First period, and it's the Killer Bees who strike in this one. Tyler Winquist is going to bang home this slick behind-the-net pass. That's his third goal of the season. Bees out in front, 1-0. 9 seconds of the first, and the Bluebirds respond. This point shot from Michael McIntyre is going to beat a screen Nolan DeConing, and we are tied at 1 heading into the intermission. Second period, nearing the halfway point of the frame, we get this crazy chance from the Bluebirds' Travis Winkworth. Wraparound chance through the crease and out the other side. That leads to this. 2-on-1 for Alvinston, and it's going to be Avery Antone at the side of the net. He beats Ryan Polidori. It's 2-1 Alvinston. Less than a minute later, Bluebirds on the power play. Point shot is going to be deflected in by David LeBlanc in front. That's his third of the season. We're tied at 2. Ensuing Alvinston possession. Off the one defensive faceoff, it's going to be Blair Deranek. He scores his first goal of the season and an absolute beauty to say the least. That puts the Bees up back in front. It's 3-2. 2 minutes later, the back and forth continues. Dylan Denomi and Stéphane Crevier work their magic in the offensive zone. Denomi finishes with his 16th goal of the season. We are tied again. It's 3-3. 2 to play now in the period. Alvinston on the power play. Point shot here from Bailey Freifogel is going to beat Polidori on the blocker hand side. Alvinston grabs the lead back. It's 4-3 heading into the third. Third period now, nearing 8 minutes to play. Two teams scramble for advantage at the Bees' blue line. Lost in the shuffle is Travis Winkworth. He sprung in on the breakaway. He beats DeConing, and we are all even at 4. This game seemed destined to head to overtime with the back and forth nature of it, as these two teams battled for 59 minutes and 40 seconds, but then this happened. Tilbury's Cole Chevalier gets credited here with his 4th of the season, and that would be your game winner. Well, you be the judge. Bluebirds improved to 10-2 on the season, while the Killer Bees fall to 3-6-1 after this heartbreaker. 5-4 Tilbury is your final.
And we are so glad to be here with you, so welcome. As we begin our game, the referees are at center ice getting ready to drop the puck, and we will be starting in just a moment. On the line, it is passed over to here comes a shot out front. This is a shot. Scores! Number 17 for Tilsonburg scores the first goal. Mike Rebry, the captain tonight, and we have our teddy bear toss. The goal scored by Mike Rebry 20 seconds into the game. And Tilsonburg takes a 1-0 lead. We have the Tilsonburg Tykes gathering all the stuffed animals as we take a moment to celebrate them and to celebrate every person that is here tonight as they give teddy bears to people within the community. So Rebry gets the goal. I believe Roberts gets the assist. We'll wait for the official announcement. We are just waiting for just the announcement here. It will be just a couple of minutes. Welcome to the game tonight. We are glad to have you with us. Puck is in the Delhi zone. There's a shot, way wide. There's another shot, it scores! What a goal! The goalie made the save, but the rebound went right to the Thunder player, and he scored, and it is 2-0. Coming down the ice, he's across the zone, looking for a player, and it's intercepted. We have 2-on-1. It's passed out front. Here's a shot. Scores! The Thunder. Luck. Barletta looking for his man. He finds him. Number 18, McGuffin. McGuffin's on defense right now. There's a shot. There's a goal. Scored by number 21, Brown. Thunder. Roberts has the puck. Sent all the way back to Sklatter. There's the shot. Scores! Another rebound. Millard has the puck. He's brought down. No penalty. It's 2-on-1. Here go the Flames. There's a shot. Just wide. And now the Thunder clear the zone. Millard going for the puck. Is taken by Brown. Brown shoots. It scores! Thunder gets a piece of that. Kept in by the Thunder. They're on the power play here. It's kept in. Abraham keeps it in. There's the shot. Abraham gets it back as the Flames try to get the puck out. Is in front. Wide open in and scores. Tillsonburg Thunder are ahead 7-0. Puck is dropped. It is sent to the point. It is kept in there by Brown. Scores! And the Tillsonburg Thunder. Finley has the puck, takes it into his own zone. Looking for a player, and he finds him in Gillard. Pass to Brown. Goaltender comes up with a save. And made the saves. Here comes the Flames. 2-on-1. They have the puck. They shoot. They score! Oh, I feel bad for Matt as the puck just trickled over. The Thunder 8. The Flames 1. The shots for the Tillsonburg Thunder 51. For the Flames 29.
We are inside the ballroom for the Western Ontario Super Hockey League Game of the Week. The Erin Blitz on home ice Saturday night. They were hosting the Plattsville Lakers. Opening period, the Blitz looking to strike first. Here comes Max Lightfoot. He speeds in and sets up Jacob Miller. Nice rush and a good finish. It's 1-0 Blitz, and they keep coming. Lucas Schott is leading a 2-on-1 over to Sean Caruso, and he puts it in. Caruso with his first of the year. He makes it 2-0 Erin. Still in the first, it's a Blitz power play. Jeff White taking it to the net, and he scores on his own rebound. That was the start of a big night for White. 3-0 Blitz after 20 minutes. Second period, it's more from White. He is on the near side. He takes the feed and rips it in. Another power play goal. Erin jumping out to a 4-0 lead, and they bury another one 35 seconds later. Chris Prejeck coming in. He makes a move and roofs it. That's his 5th marker of the season, and the goals coming fast and furious. Mark Sandwell breaking in, and he finds Zach Collins. The Blitz with 3 goals in 1 minute and 54 seconds. They are up 6-0. Back come the Lakers. Mitch Randall is at the point. He throws it on net. Damian Karingi picks it up and puts it in. The Lakers are on the board. They now trail 6-1. Later in the period, the Blitz answer. Liam Galton going to the net, and he buries the loose puck. Galton and the Blitz now leading 7-1. Then it's the captain completing the hat trick. Jeff White comes in and scores his 3rd goal of the night. Erin with a big lead. They are up 9-1 after 40 minutes. Third period now, it's a beauty goal from the Lakers. Damian Karingi over to Sean Mackey, and he goes top shelf. Mackey recording his 1st goal of the year. Then we've got a scrap. It's Garrett Williams for the Blitz and Delson Aventis for the Lakers. Both players done for the night as they receive fighting majors. Later in the period, the puck bounces to Sean Mackey. He's at the side of the net and he stuffs it home. The Lakers would score 4 goals in the final period, but this night belonging to the Blitz. Here is Braden Kelso making a terrific save. He had 37 stops in the game, and it's a Blitz victory. They take it on home ice. 9-5 is the final on Saturday night.
Yeah, guys, so a great coverage all overall for the weekend. We also want to thank 509 Sports Online for their coverage of the Erin Blitz Plattsville Lakers game on the weekend. So great game in Erin for the Erin Blitz. We'll get to our guests in a minute here, but first we'll get you caught up on the updates all around. So we'll start with our standings update. Still, we got the Tilbury Bluebirds in first place. Through 12 games, they are 10-2. They've scored 74, allowed 34 for a plus-minus of 40. They're currently on the win streak, back in the win column here this season. Tillsonburg Thunder, 8 in a row for them. They are 9-1 on the season. They have scored a league high 77. They've allowed a league low 28 for a plus-minus of 49. They have won 8 in a row, and they sit 2 points back of the Tilbury Bluebirds, but now they are in second place. They jumped ahead of the Elora Rocks that fell to the Stratford Fighting Irish on Friday. Elora now 8-3-1 through 12 games, 68 in, 42 against for a difference of plus 26. They are 1 point back at the Tillsonburg Thunder. Elora, unfortunately, losers of 2 in a row. We'll look to correct that this weekend. Stratford Fighting Irish, 1 point back of Elora, 2 points back of Tillsonburg. They are 8-2, 7 in a row for the Stratford Fighting Irish after a pair of victories. One against the Elora Rocks on Friday, followed that up with a 9-0 victory over Strathroy on Saturday. 71 in, 31 against for a plus-minus of 40. Strathroy Jets, 6-7, 4 points now back of the fourth place Stratford Fighting Irish. 50 in, 58 against, -8 goal differential, losers of 1 in a row. Strathroy beating Delhi and then falling to the Stratford Fighting Irish over the weekend. The Plattsville Lakers 4-9 on the season. They fell to they fell to the Erin Blitz over the weekend. They are now at 4-9, 47 in, 78 against for a plus-minus -31. They are 4 points back at the Strathroy Jets for fifth. They are 1 point clear of Alvinston, who lost on the weekend a heartbreaker against Tilbury. 3-6-1 for Alvinston, 35 in, 54 against for a plus-minus of -19. Losers of 2 in a row. They will look to turn things around this weekend. The Erin Blitz, 2-8-1. They are at 5 points, 40 in, 80 against. They have won 1 in a row. Like I said, points in 3 straight games, 2 wins and an overtime loss, 2-8-1 on the year. They have played 2 less games than the Delhi Flames, 13 games played, 2-10-1, 5 points as well, 36 in, 93 against for a plus-minus of -57. They've lost 6 in a row. Delhi, they need to get some commitment and getting guys to show up for games and put a couple in the win column to turn this thing around. Lots of games left. In fairness, we have in a 24-game season, they have 9 games left. 8 teams, top 8 teams make the playoffs. Any team will be a tough out this upcoming season in the playoffs in year 2 of the WOSHL. We flip over to our leading scorer, in points. In terms of points, Vyacheslav Chagrinsev of the Tilbury Bluebirds still leading with 28. Dylan Denomi, his teammate, 27. Kevin Hugh with 25, remains there after not playing this weekend. Chad Heron has 21. Spencer Gourlay with 19, both of the Elora Rocks. Graham Brulot, 19 points for him. He's up to 14 goals on the season for the Stratford Fighting Irish. He's tied alongside, both him, Brulot, Gourlay, and Jamie McQueen of Tillsonburg. In 8 games, Jamie McQueen's put up 19 points. He's unreal for the Thunder. One back of them is Plattsville's Hunter Dubecki. He has 7 goals, 11 assists for 18 points. Mitchell Van Teeling of the Tilbury Bluebirds, 7-10 for 17. While Jacob Miller, our guest on the podcast this week, 11-6 for him, 17 points. Big weekend for him in the WOSHL. We look ahead now to this upcoming weekend on our WOSHL scoreboard. It's going to be a jam-packed weekend. It gets underway on Friday in Strathroy. The Killer Bees and the Strathroy Jets. Bees at 3-6-1, Jets at 6-7. That one goes at 7:30. The Plattsville Lakers visit the Elora Rocks on Friday at 8:30 at the Elora and District Community Center. On Saturday, we get underway at 1:30. Note the start time there. Alvinston Killer Bees hosting once again the Tilbury Bluebirds. Bluebirds 10-2. Alvinston, like I say, 3-6-1. But they will play the Jets on the Friday beforehand. So that one goes at 1:30 at the BAI-CC Complex. At 7:30 at Center 2000 in Erin, the Erin Blitz at 2-8-1 hosts the Stratford Fighting Irish at 8-2. 7:30 start time there. The Tillsonburg Thunder then travel to Delhi to take on the Flames. Tillsonburg 8 in a row they've won. They sit in second place. They are in Delhi at the Delhi Arena, 8 o'clock. That one gets underway. And then our final game of the weekend, Delhi Flames visiting the Plattsville Lakers at 3:30 on Saturday, December 11th at the Plattsville Arena. Yeah, so lots of great action continuing to come here in the WOSHL this upcoming weekend. And we are ramping up for Christmas time. As you can see, we're in the festive mood, no question. But without further ado, guys, we get to our interviews this week. Coming up first is Jacob Miller of the Erin Blitz, and it's going to be followed up by Matt Fuller of the Stratford Fighting Irish. So without further ado, Jacob Miller. All right, folks, here on the Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast, very, very pleased to welcome in our first guest on this week's edition. He is the alternate captain of the Erin Blitz and leads the team in scoring with 17 points so far this year. And that is Jacob Miller. Jacob, it's great to have you on the podcast, pal. Thanks a lot for coming on and doing this, and welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's funny. Like we could speak of the record. I mean, obviously, I think you guys have played better than the record would indicate. Take me through what this season has been like for you to this point.
It's been quite the ride coming into it. There's only like 4 guys from Erin who are actually on the team, so
okay.
It's just been a big kind of getting to know one another, and yeah, start of the season was a little rough. We never really got things going, never meshed well together, but things are turning around now. We just got 5 points under our belt, so yeah, the Blitz were looking to have a better second half of the season, that's for sure.
Yeah, like that, and that's the interesting thing about it, right? I mean, like you say, the record could be better for how you guys are playing of late, and I think in a 24-game season, you guys are 11 games in now. This would be the perfect time to turn it around. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. Yep, we it felt really good getting that first win under our belt, and yeah, we had a fun night that night, and the boys were starting to bond now. So yeah, I'm excited to see if we can turn some heads and blitz the league.
Blitz. Oh, I like the wordplay, Jake. You're good. You're good for that. I could appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, that was a huge victory. I mean, one of the things too. So yeah, it's a shutout or a shootout victory against the Delhi Flames in their barn. That was a big game for you guys, and obviously to get the first W, that had to feel good. And then yeah, like you said, you've earned points in 3 straight games. One was a tough overtime loss. Kevin Hugh matched you goal for goal, and then put in 3 more just for good effort. I mean, that was an unreal game against Plattsville. But then to come back in the second of the home and home and not only beat them, but I think you guys played probably your best game of the year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, we were on fire. Plattsville was missing Hugh that game.
Sure.
But yeah, honestly, like every shot we were putting on net, we were getting nice rebounds. Guys were finding each other in the slot, and yeah, that was our best game of the season for sure.
And I mean, the chemistry seems to be there between you and Max Lightfoot as well. I mean, you were saying before we started recording here that you guys hadn't really met before, like maybe had some mutual friends, but never played before. But it looks like you guys have played forever together because you got this undeniable chemistry. What's it like been playing with him?
Oh, it's fun. He's a skilled player. He skates around, controls the puck really well, and I just try to find openings on the ice and call for the puck, and he finds me most of the time, and
ends up working out.
Same goes. I try to find him, and I know his points don't show it, but he gets so many chances. I think he's gonna have a great second half of the season.
Well, absolutely. And, yeah, you hope that guys, obviously points isn't everything. Wins is important. And obviously, like you said, the fact that you guys have put a couple wins here and an overtime loss as well in the last 3, that's progress. You're part of this leadership group that also includes Captain Jeff White, who's playing unbelievable. He had a great game also on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 2-part question. First one I want to ask you is what it was like for you to be a part of this leadership group. Have you been an assistant or a captain before? And I guess what did it mean to you when Tim asked you to be an assistant captain, or who did ask you?
So yeah, Whitey, he's been on a tear lately.
Yeah.
It's fun watching and playing with Whitey. Being assistant captain, it's an honor. I've always been a quiet leader, and I think I show my leadership just by playing with heart on the ice and just trying to give it my all, really. Yeah, I forget after what, maybe after a second game, they announced it at practice. No one asked us. They just kind of surprised us with the assistant captain. So
right,
it was a big surprise. It was fun. It was good.
Have you been have you worn a letter before in any previous hockey experience that you've had?
Yeah, just growing like little when I was in minor hockey.
Okay.
Yeah, minor hockey I wore A all the time. wore the C a couple times, and then when I played the cross growing up in Orangeville, I wore the A and C all the time. But
Okay.
yeah, my style is just lead by example and just play with heart.
Well, and like the play shows. I mean, the thing is, like you have to understand, and again, it's a team game, obviously, and like you say, leadership through example. You're putting up great points. You're top 10 in scoring now. You're into the top 10 there. You have 17 points, like I said, through the 10 games you've played out of the 11. I mean, the guys have to feed off that, and obviously they are. And I thought also like part of the win and part of a winning culture and being able to be successful on the ice is starts with the goaltending. I mean, Braden Kelso was outstanding for you guys, and maybe he hasn't had the best season to this point. But I think for his confidence, he looked pretty sharp on Sunday. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, like I feel confident every time Kelso's in net. Like, yeah, no, he's a good goalie. He's hard to score on in practice, and he's always chirping us in practice when we don't score on him. So he's a good guy. It's fun to be around.
Yeah, and again, to speak, can you? I don't know if you can indulge on us a little bit. Like, what has the locker room culture been like? I mean, obviously, when the team is struggling, it could be a little bit non-motivational, if you will. But to win a few and to put some points in the standings, that has to change things. Like, have you seen an improvement? I guess, if you will.
Yeah, well, recently, yeah, but it was tough first bit of the season. Like, I don't think any of us have been on a team that's lost this much.
Right.
Like,
And
coaches were frustrated, management, like everyone was just frustrated. So, but yeah, we knew it was gonna be tough. Like first year in the league, but yeah, these past 3 games we got 5 points. Feels good, and we're just gonna try to keep that going.
did you know much about this league before you came into this, or is this all new to
No,
you?
this is brand new. I was out west in the mountains, and Jordan Tudd on the team. He sent me a message like, "Miller, come play for Erin, starting a senior team." And I hadn't played competitive in a while, so I was like, "Oh, yeah, this sounds good. I'm gonna do this. I'm itching to play good hockey." So
Yeah, and what is it? You spent some time though out in what is it, St. Andrews College for a few years. How did that go for you?
yeah, that was my last 2 years of high school. I did that. I was hoping to get like a scholarship. It didn't happen, but made some good friends. It was a great school. I loved going to school there. The facilities were awesome, and yeah, no regrets. It was a great time.
And I mean, yeah, like that's got to be a tremendous hockey experience for you as well. Like Jacob, I mean, anybody would tell you different reasons as to why they continue to play this game. Having taken a bit of time off for whatever reason, whether it be personal or non-personal, or maybe life got in the way, that sort of thing. Like to be able to play competitive hockey now and see the level of talent that you guys are going up against on a nightly basis. What is it that drives you in this game? Like, what is it that keeps you coming back? What is it? What is your motivating factor in to this game and playing competitively?
Well, my dad, he's always been super competitive, putting me in sports growing up. So I got the competitiveness from him. And then to keep doing it now, uh, yeah, I guess it's just I don't know, it's just a fire within. Like I just love playing, and yeah, it's fun coming together with a bunch of guys who want to play hard as well. So, and also it keeps you in shape. So it's good.
Which is important.
Yeah. Oh, and it feels like normal's going hard every night. Well, for practice and game on weekend.
Sure.
But start of the season, it was tough. Like, yeah, all of us were out of shape.
So now, yeah, big game for you guys upcoming. The rematch game, if you will, against Stratford after they kind of give it to you in their barn. You weren't in the lineup for that game, but will we expect you in the lineup this Saturday in Erin? And what do you expect from this matchup?
Yeah. I think we're gonna have a full lineup. We'll have a full team there. I'm excited. The guys on our team said they're like one of the best teams like that they've played. Fast, big, strong. So it'll be a fun game. I'm excited to see
Yeah.
see what Stratford's like. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really rolling right now. They've won 7 in a row, and I mean, I think it's interesting anytime a team can test their muscles, if you will, against a team that's rolling like that. I think it would really put a kind of a measuring stick as to where this team is at and how they can improve. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah,
And
we played all the top teams except for Stratford and Strathroy. So, well, sorry, I haven't seen Stratford, but
right.
I'm excited.
And so, yeah, like I say, big matchup obviously this Saturday in at the Center 2000 in Erin, Stratford Fighting Irish visiting the Erin Blitz. And I guess the last one I have for you, do you have any sort of expectations on what you'd like to see from Erin the rest of the way throughout the second half of the season?
Um, well, we're starting to get some systems in place and uh develop some chemistry with their lines. So I think we're just gonna start producing more offense, and yeah, we just gotta tighten up on our D, and I think we're gonna have a fun time second half of the season.
Well, it should be fun, right? And yeah, watch out for the blitz in the second half. My money's on that as well. We've been speaking to number 7 of the Erin Blitz, the alternate captain, Jacob Miller. Jacob, it's been an absolute pleasure, dude. Best of luck, like I said, the rest of the way, and best of luck on Saturday against Stratford. Good luck to you, and keep producing those numbers. It's great to see. Congratulations so far, and best of luck the rest of the way.
All right, thanks so much. Merry Christmas.
All right, folks, continuing on here, Western Ontario Super Hockey League podcast. It's great to have you guys along, and we welcome in our second guest of the podcast. He wears number 27 proudly for the Stratford Fighting Irish, newly joined. He's now played in 6 of 7 games for the Irish. Matt Fuller joins us on the podcast. Matt, it's great to have you on, and welcome on the pod, pal.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm glad to be on, and let's get talking here.
Yeah, so you know what, and it's kind of been a whirlwind, I guess, for you in a little bit of ways, coming in late to the season, but you've adjusted quite nicely. Take us back to the process of how this kind of all came about.
So I mean, there's a time period there where I really didn't think I was going to play any competitive hockey again. I actually was friends with Cooper Leach on the team, and he kind of reached out to me a little bit. He had played there last year, started talking to me, and it was pretty quick from there. I talked to the coach, obviously, Pi, and from there it was everything sounded positive, and it was just something I kind of looked forward to. And he explained a bunch of guys from London, everyone carpools. It's a good atmosphere, a bunch of good guys, and I was interested right away.
And yeah, like it had to be like a killer first impression coming in because you've done nothing but win since. Your team's on an absolute heater, 7 in a row here. You got some familiarity with some of the guys on the team, besides Cooper, correct?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, as soon as I joined, first call I made was to Zach Tierney. He actually played with me a bit as a 16-year-old back in the London Nationals days, and I called him right away because I heard his name was mentioned, and once I think I played one game and he was there the next game, so he's been rolling with us there, and he's actually my D partner out there now, so it's been fun.
Right on. And like I said, the team success is unbelievable. I mean, what has been the easiest transition it's made for you? Because like I said, you had a little bit of a break between competitive hockey. Come back in, obviously there has to have been a little bit of rust, but you've shooken that off quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't huffing and puffing the first couple games.
Sure.
It was tough to get the lungs going again, but I mean, the group I had around me also made it that much more easy to kind of slide in and allow me to shake the rust off and then continue my game on from there.
And in the time that you've played here so far, the 6 games, like what has been your biggest thing that you've noticed from this league? Like what's your biggest takeaway if you could take one thing and say, oh man, I didn't know it was going to be like this?
I'd say the competitiveness.
Okay.
Every team wants to win out there, whether it's the bottom teams or the top teams. Every team wants to win out there, and they grind it for the full 60 minutes. I was skeptical coming in. I mean, I didn't know much about the league, but it's really impressed me and kind of exceeded my expectations.
Yeah, and like I mean, there's obviously guys on your team that are really rolling as well. I mean, you got a great goalie tandem back there between
Yeah,
Zach Weir and Darren Smith, and that showed over the weekend. Smith comes in and does an unbelievable job against Alora in a big victory, and then
yeah,
Zach Weir follows that up with a shutout, albeit against Strathroy, a very undermanned Strathroy Jets team. But
yeah,
it's got to be nice for you guys as a forward and D core, knowing that you
yeah.
got that last line of defense back there.
I mean, it is awesome having two guys like that. It's almost like having a third D man out there when they're out there. They play the puck so well. They talk out there. So anytime I get beat, I know I got guys that I can trust behind me. So it's been solid playing with both of them. It's our team's not worried on which guy's playing which night because we know we're getting 8 performances out of both of them.
Yeah, and like I mean, and again, you talk about, oh well, if I make a mistake, we haven't made very many mistakes. You're putting up good numbers. You got 9 points in your 6 games that you've played. And one of the guys that's also really rolling on your squad right now is Graham Brulot, and he has been
Yeah,
unbelievable. It seems every time you guys go out there, he's usually always scoring a goal in the opening minute. I
yeah.
don't know what's going on with him in that way, but it's got to be pretty impressive from you on the D core to watch this guy play out there.
Definitely. I mean, for the last since I've joined almost, he's had the hot stick and for the last few games, I feel like he's scoring on the first shift every game. It's pretty impressive to watch. He's got a great shot, a great release. He's a smart player and I remember just last game he scored again first shift and all the D kind of looked at each other like, was that Brew again? And yeah, it was him again. So no,
Yeah.
he's a great guy to have up front and you want to get him the puck right now.
Absolutely, he's on fire. Let's talk about that game on Friday because that's a big game for you guys, especially.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, on home ice against them the week before, you put it to them a little bit, 10-5. They may
Yeah.
not have had the strongest, like they didn't ice a full lineup, no question. But
Yeah.
then come back the next week on the Friday in their barn with a full lineup and a full complement, and you guys come out victorious again. What was your biggest takeaway from that game Friday night?
I mean, that just showed what kind of team we are. We're not just fluke 7 game win streak here. We're in this, and I mean, going there in their home rink and having their full squad and putting up a game like that. I mean, our third period was awesome. Goalie played awesome. Smitty was great back there, made some huge saves, and I mean, being able to beat them back to back, let alone in their barn as well, it's shows we got quite the group here.
Well, and that was the other part. Like you were instrumental, and I think part of the takeaway there is also the play of Steven DeGroot, who
Yeah.
was excellent in the entire game. The people that I talked to said he was terrific, both ends of the ice for 60 minutes. I thought he was outstanding. Obviously, he's credited with the natural hat trick, but from the people that I talked to, they said the second one that he scored might have been off your stick, though.
I mean, he's been for the last few games. He's been phenomenal. I mean, he's getting rewarded for it. He's working
Right.
hard in the corners and in our end, and you can see it. Just you're gonna get your opportunities in the offensive zone. So I mean, he's been awesome. I'm not taking any goals away from anyone. Those are all hits. So he's been great to watch, and it's I'm happy to see him get those.
Yeah, and like even the third one he scores, his stick just explodes afterwards. Have you ever seen anything like that? I haven't.
No, that was I was kind of confused when I saw it happen because I honestly missed the initial goal, and then I
Yeah.
saw him with no stick celebrating. So I was kind of like, what just happened here? But
Yeah.
hey, they don't ask how, they ask how many.
That's right. That's right. And he's rolling as well. So, and again, a lot of guys on your team are absolutely rolling, and it's great to see. Let's take us back here a little bit. I mean, you had some very, very competitive years in your younger days. I mean, granted, you're still a young guy at 29. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. I mean, probably feel a lot older than you are, but
Sure
which
do.
I totally get that. But yeah, let's take it back. Between the years 11 and 14, you spent some time with Sioux Greyhounds, London Knights, and with the London Nationals. Talk about your time in that time span and what that was like for you from a hockey perspective.
Yeah, I mean, my time in the OHL, obviously growing up as a kid in Ontario, that's your dream. So I had a blast playing the games I did, had a phenomenal time, learned a lot, met a lot of good people. And as far as my time with the London Nationals, probably some of my best years of hockey. Winning the Sutherland Cup in 2013 was a time I'll never forget. I'll remember those guys for the rest of my life. So it was pretty special doing that in your hometown too. So it's those were some good years, and I'll never forget those years looking back.
Well, absolutely. And I think a lot of people can have those types of stories and those type of memories. So it's great that you were able to be a part of something like that and learn a bunch about your hockey self and hockey IQ. And then the
Definitely.
last few years in competitive hockey, you spent some time with the Birmingham Bulls for 3 seasons in the SPHL. You said that was some of the best hockey of your life as well. Like, what was so special about that, and what was your takeaway after that came to a conclusion?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, the living down there was just phenomenal. I had a Birmingham in its own was a great city. The people around us were absolutely amazing. They really made you feel at home down there. It's tough. It's tough to beat going from the rink at practice off to the golf course every day. Also, so that
Sure, of
was
course.
that was something that was also pretty cool. I had never played somewhere like that, so it was awesome down there. And then the hockey down there alone was it was pretty crazy. I didn't really know much about the SP going down there, and
Mhm.
they do love their hockey down there. Alabama was an awesome place to play, and those are some days that I won't soon forget.
Right on. That's awesome stuff right there. And I guess the question then, the follow up to that. So, the type of hockey down there and the type of hockey played here in Stratford,
Yeah,
is there a big difference there that you've noticed, or is it pretty much it's competitive? Let's do this thing.
I mean the biggest difference would be the drop off in levels. I
Okay.
mean, the SP, you don't get many teams where there's not someone who's skilled enough to play there. I mean,
Right.
the first line and the fourth line are so tight, whereas I guess the only thing in this line is you might see a bit of a gap between the top end guys and the lower end guys.
Sure.
So that's the only thing. But as far as the compete level and the skill level, there's guys in both leagues that are just as equal.
Right, right. And like you say, you expect a difference in any which way. It just comes in different forms, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you say, your team's rolling right now, and you got the Erin Blitz coming up here on Saturday. Um, let's like the thing that I find, and I don't know if you can relate to this, Matt, is like teams travel difficult in this league, and for various reasons, whether guys have to travel a lot further than other guys, or work gets in the way, or various things.
Yeah.
What would be your, I guess, takeaway from that? And does it affect you, or have you found that you've been affected by when you have a road game and if you can make it?
It's actually funny you say that. This weekend I will be missing the Erin game. I've got previous commitments, but like as far as our team goes, from what I've seen, we have a really committed team. Our away games everyone's there as the home game, so it's this squad has been nice, but I know I have seen it firsthand that there are some teams that struggle with the away games, so it can make things a little more difficult. But as far as I go, doesn't affect me too much. And with
Right.
our team, we seem to have a pretty committed group who's committed to going to all games. So it's been good.
Well, and depth is a big part of that as well. Having guys in that can step in there and contribute. I guess my follow up to that is like you guys are rolling at a point in this season where rolling is important, where
Yeah,
points are at a premium. I
yeah,
think seeding is going to be everything if you could get home ice at any point, let alone the first round, because not only do I believe that anybody that you play in the first round will be a tough out, but playing
yeah,
in the Stratford barn in front of your home fans, that'll be huge. And if teams
yeah.
travel difficult on the road, that's even more beneficial to have home ice.
Yeah. I mean, we're only 10 games in and we can already feel it at home how much we come out with energy and how much that we can feel it being at home when we get rolling a couple goals on the board. Like it's tough for teams to come back and kill that energy. So I mean, in any sport, you want to get the home ice advantage, home field advantage, but here I think it's definitely important with the amount of good teams that we have in this league.
Well, and there are some very good rinks that are tougher to play in as well. Like Alora they probably had a full barn on Friday, like and
Yeah,
they're rocking the entire game. Same with Tilsonburg and Strathroy at the Gemini Sportsplex there. Like that's what you love to see also in this league, right? I mean,
yeah,
you want to play in front of a lively group, right? I mean, that
yeah.
helps on the ice, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, regardless for me, if it's home or away, I love a loud barn. I mean, whether it's people chirping at me or chirping with me, doesn't matter to me. It's fun to play in front of people. Doesn't regardless of what fans they are.
All right. And we've been talking with Matt Fuller, defenseman of the Stratford Fighting Irish here on the podcast. Matt, my next question to you, like you've been playing hockey a long time, you've been around this game for a long time. There's got to be something at this point that just keeps you driving, that keeps you motivated, that fuels your fire to keep going and keep producing at the elite level that you're doing that. What would you say is your biggest factor?
I think right now, just seeing that I still can do it. I mean, I took a couple years off since COVID, and always thought to myself, like, could I play at that level? Could I get there? Didn't know if I had it. Wasn't sure if I was going to keep playing or not. And coming back and being in that team environment again, it's something I missed, and I think it's helped me kind of make my way back into the game. And I've been happy ever since joining Stratford.
Well, absolutely. And like I say, when you're rolling and you're winning, that's obviously helps a ton. Last question before I let you go. A lot of people would definitely point to different things as to what their hockey inspiration was in terms of getting started. I mean, if you could take me back, I guess, to those early years, like what was your biggest motivating factor when it came to your hockey career, and like who was your biggest influence?
Uh, Definitely my dad. I mean, when I was 2, 3 years old, I had the skates on before I had shoes on. We had a rink in the backyard. I was skating from day one, so he was definitely a big factor. And they both my parents, honestly, probably the biggest motivators in my life for the hockey that I played, and just having them by my side the whole way made it that much better.
Excellent. Matt, this has been excellent. So we've been speaking on the podcast today with defenseman number 27, Matt Fuller of the Stratford Fighting Irish. Matt, best of luck the rest of the way. Continue to roll. You guys have won 7 in a row and are climbing the leaderboard in the WOSHL standings. It's great to see, and it's great to speak with you. I really do appreciate you coming on and making time. And best of luck the rest of the season. We'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks so much. I appreciate you having me, and anytime you want, let's chat.
Okay, guys, once again, I want to thank our guests this week on the WOSHL podcast, Jacob Miller of the Erin Blitz and Matt Fuller of the Stratford Fighting Irish. I want to thank Sleeman Breweries for sponsoring the podcast and continuing with their support. I also want to thank you, the viewer, for watching and tuning in once again. Really appreciate your continued support of the Western Ontario Super Hockey League. I know I'm not alone in that sentiment. I am Andrew Rogers, the host, and we will see you guys again next week for another exciting edition of the podcast. Take care, drive safe, and be well, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care.